But today we're talking about concerns from international tourists about traveling to the U.S.
Yeah, not a big surprise because as America embarks on its America First foreign policy, a lot of non-Americans are feeling, well, kind of unwelcome. In fact, dozens of countries have already issued travel advisories to their citizens amid the crackdown on immigrants here in the United States.
One data point that really boggles my mind is that about 120,000 fewer people from just 3 countries here, the UK, Spain, and Germany, traveled to the U.S.
The number of German visitors to the U.S. is down 28%. The UK visitors down 15%. And folks coming in from South Korea also at 15%.
The figures are absolutely mind-blowing. At this very moment, while you listen to this, America's travel sector is hemorrhaging cash at a pace that would send even the largest companies into full panic mode. We're discussing losses so enormous that complete metropolitan areas are witnessing their financial foundations collapse before their eyes. But here's the jaw-dropping revelation. The administration is celebrating unprecedented tourism figures, while sector specialists are raising red flags about complete devastation. What's actually unfolding beneath the polished media reports? The reality is much more intricate and frightening than anyone is willing to acknowledge. While official federal data celebrates $126.9 billion in travel revenue for the initial 6 months of 2025, independent analysis companies are depicting an entirely different scenario. The World Travel and Tourism Council unleashed a shocking announcement in May when they revealed that America faces losing $12.5 billion in international guest expenditure this year exclusively. But that's merely the start of this developing catastrophe. Julia Simpson, the president and CEO of the World Travel and Tourism Council, spoke directly when she issued what many consider an urgent warning to Washington. Well, our members are quite concerned right now. The companies are holding off on hiring. This is a wake-up call for the U.S. government, Simpson stated. The world's biggest travel and tourism economy is heading in the wrong direction, not because of a lack of demand, but because of a failure to act. While other nations are rolling out the welcome mat, the U.S. government is putting up the closed sign. Her statements hold additional significance because her organization represents the private industry that actually profits from travel, not the federal departments that gather data. The emergency is striking from various angles, like a devastating storm. Canada, America's nearest ally, and historically one of its largest tourist sources, has virtually ceased visiting. Ground border crossings from Canada have crashed by a staggering 28%, while flight arrivals fell 13.3%. Consider that for a moment. Almost 3 out of every 10 Canadian guests who would typically drive across the frontier are simply remaining home. Metropolitan areas like Seattle are projected to experience a 26.9% drop in international guests. Portland confronts an 18.3% reduction, and Detroit is staring at a 17.3% plunge. But Canada's withdrawal is just one element of this complex situation. Europe, the origin of millions of big spending travelers, is also looking elsewhere. German and French guests are down substantially, with some data indicating a 17% decrease in European visitors during what should have been prime travel season. These aren't budget backpackers we're discussing. European travelers typically invest significant money on premium accommodations, upscale dining establishments, and costly shopping excursions on Fifth Avenue and Rodeo Drive. The human impact of this emergency is becoming apparent on America's sidewalks. Accommodations that once thrived with international guests are laying off employees. Dining establishments and visitor attractions are cutting operating hours. Even high-end retail stores are witnessing their revenue figures decline as fewer wealthy foreign shoppers enter their establishments. In smaller communities that rely completely on seasonal travel, some enterprises are already shutting their doors permanently. Here's where it becomes truly fascinating. While federal officials celebrate record statistics, independent analysis reveals a completely different narrative. Oxford Economics, a respected analysis company, predicts that international arrivals will decline 8.2% in 2025. That's not a minor decrease. That's millions of absent visitors. The U.S. Travel Association is even more negative, estimating potential losses of $21 billion if present patterns persist. Every 1% drop in international visitor expenditure equals $1.8 billion removed from the American economy. The causes behind this breakdown are as intricate as they are concerning. The robust US dollar makes everything more costly for foreign guests. When your currency is weak against the dollar, that fantasy vacation to New York suddenly costs 20 or 30% more than it did last year. Many travelers are simply selecting more affordable destinations instead. But finances isn't the sole element driving tourists elsewhere. Jeff Freeman, president and CEO of the U.S. Travel Association, described a troubling scenario of what foreign guests now encounter at American frontiers. Whether justified or not, there is a perception that more individuals are being detained, more devices are being searched, and lawful travelers are being sent back to their home countries, Freeman told CNBC. This generates considerable fear. The political atmosphere is also contributing significantly. Aaron Ryan, director of industry studies at Tourism Economics, pointed directly at governmental approaches. The posturing and policy around border security and trade tariffs have created sentiment headwinds among potential travelers. Between May and July, flight bookings to the US declined compared to the same time frame last year, with European reservations down more than 10% and Canadian bookings collapsing by 33%. New York City, America's tourism crown jewel, is experiencing the impact especially severely. The metropolis that never sleeps is watching visitor statistics drop by 17%. Broadway theaters, world-famous museums, and legendary restaurants are all witnessing fewer international faces. When New York struggles, the ripple effects spread across the entire nation. But here's the twist that makes this story even more dramatic. Some federal officials are presenting a completely different scenario. U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick recently celebrated what he described as record tourism statistics, asserting they demonstrate America is entering a golden era. Under Secretary William Kimmett echoed these assertions, stating the record-breaking figures show the strength and appeal of the United States as the world's premier travel destination. So, who's speaking the truth? The solution lies in how you calculate the statistics. Federal data focuses on total expenditure, which includes domestic travel and can be inflated by higher costs. Independent analysis companies examine visitor statistics and specific market categories. Both can be technically accurate while presenting completely different narratives. The rivalry is intensifying every day. While America battles negative perceptions and elevated expenses, other nations are extending warm welcomes for international travelers. Emerging destinations in Asia, Africa, and South America are providing distinctive experiences at reduced costs. Spain, Japan, and Mexico are establishing new tourism relationships with visitors who might never return to American territories. The long-term consequences are staggering. Travel isn't just about accommodations and dining establishments. It sustains employment across entire neighborhoods, produces tax income for local administrations, and establishes a positive perception of America globally. When foreign guests stop arriving, the harm extends far beyond the travel sector itself. Some metropolitan areas that depend heavily on Canadian visitors are confronting particularly severe realities. The information suggests that locations near the northern frontier could witness devastating revenue drops this year. For small tourism-dependent neighborhoods, one poor season can determine the difference between remaining operational and closing permanently. The speed of this decline is perhaps the most disturbing aspect of all. Multiple sources indicate the downturn isn't just persisting, it's accelerating. If current patterns continue, next year could make 2025 appear mild by comparison. The question isn't whether America's travel sector is in crisis anymore. The question is how severe it will become before something shifts. As millions of potential guests select other destinations and international arrivals continue to crash, one reality is becoming crystal clear. America's status as the world's top tourist destination is deteriorating in real time, and the billions of dollars flowing to competitors might never return. Before you leave, we want to hear from you. Is America's tourism decline a temporary setback or the beginning of something larger? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get the debate rolling. If you found this breakdown useful, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. And don't click away just yet. Tap the video on your screen right now. How Europe just took over America's tourism industry to see why travelers are flocking across the Atlantic. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.